Well, it's about time to begin. And this is I want to welcome you to the 28th meeting of the 46th year of Rotary Club of Dublin and Worthington. Today's invocation will be offered by Tom Rice. Tom?
Dear Lord, please look down upon this world you created and bless us all. Please instill upon all Americans the importance of vaccination. Please instill upon our Congress and our entire government that listening and reasonable compromise and legislation that is equal for all will help solve the divide in this great country we call America. In this we pray, mercifully, amen.
Amen. Tom, pledge.
Tom, the pledge.
He sounds like.
Tom, are you still there? Well,
Yes,
let's all go ahead and do the pledge too.
Well, I didn't realize that my responsibility as well, but I can do that.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the
To
flag of the United States of America and to
and
the
to the
republic
republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God,
God,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
and
and
justice for
justice
all.
for all.
President-elect Steve, are there any visiting Rotarians or guests? And also happy dollars.
Yes. Looking through the Zoom here, I don't see any visiting Rotarians necessarily, and we have an overwhelming amount of guests, which is fantastic. So, Anne, if you can help me out.
Steve, I can introduce the non-interact guests.
Perfect.
If that's okay.
Please do.
So, I have with us the Worthington School District Assistant Superintendent, Angie, Adrian, Angie wave at us. I have school board member Sam Shim. Sam was also a GSE team member from our club in what year, Sam? I forget.
2005.
Okay, thank you. So thank you for joining us. And board member Nikki Hudson is taking her daughter to school and will be Zooming in soon. And that's it for me.
Fantastic. Anne, would you like to introduce the Interact students?
Sure. So I'm going to introduce, there's 4 people representing Interact right now. There is this faculty advisor, Ms. Heather Koch. Who's that? And then there is Sylvia Long and Maggie Manrique, yes. And then Claire Ogden is Ogden. And they will be, the teens will be the ones that are presenting in just a few minutes. Very excited.
Fantastic. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it. This is going to be great. Moving towards happy dollars. Does anybody have a happy dollar? Joe.
On the theme of our many visitors from the Worthington schools, I'd like to say I'm very delighted that our son, the sophomore at Thomas Worthington, is now confidently driving on interstate highways near you. So take shelter. But we're pleased about it.
Fantastic. I will keep an eye out. Anybody else?
Yes, I have one. My parents are pastors and they're retiring in a year. Church provides them a home, so they just purchased their very first home. So very excited for them as they lean into retirement here soon, and excited they found a home.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations to them. Anybody else?
Hey, so Jen, I know your parents traveled all over Ohio. Where did they end up?
They are in Tuscarawas County right now, but they will wind up in Canton is where they bought their first home. Canton, Ohio, real close to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, right down the road.
Nice. I'm originally from Akron, so I know Canton well enough. Anybody else? One more. Oh, it's painful. All right, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Jim.
Okay. I'll start with the announcements, and that is that on 2 weeks from today, we will hold our, that's March 24th. We will hold our the club annual meeting to elect board members to the board. And we need a number of people to attend. That is because we need at least a quorum of 1/3 of the club for the election. So please plan to attend the March 24th meeting. So back to any other announcements people may have.
I have an announcement about March 24th also. Don't forget, it is our Rotary after hours on March 24th. We will be going to Pins. And I am figuring out food here soon. So that's going to be my next step. I'm thinking Cap City, but I'm not going to guarantee it. So I'll figure out more, but I hope to see everybody in the evening from 4 to 6 at Pins Mechanical in Dublin.
I would announce that the Rotary food drive to benefit the pantries in Dublin and Worthington, of course, is on March the 20th. If you check your calendar real quick, you will find two things. One, that's a Saturday. And number two, you have not volunteered yet to be a part. So please do that today, and that will complete then that day on your calendar.
Is it all day, Jerry?
Well, it might be if we collect enough food, because of course we'll be taking it to the pantries. But the hours are 9 to noon, and you have several emails, I think, to respond to. So please do that today. We'll fill out those teams and help our neighbors.
Jerry, can the Interact students join us?
Oh, the Interact students ought to join us. I know your calendars are full, but not on Saturday morning, and particularly at 9 o'clock, because I know where you are at 9 o'clock.
I do want to also mention, for those of people who are not able to make the 9 to noon, like me, because I'm traveling to Cincinnati that day, that you can also donate specifically to Worthington and or Dublin Food Pantry, your contributions. So if you cannot participate, you can also make a monetary donation towards those two places.
And Ann will forward the sign up email to to the other 2,000 people that she's not done already. It is an opportunity, folks. Ask your neighbors, ask folks who you think might make really good club members, because that's where we really are. We're all about service, and somebody who joins our service projects gets the real flavor of our club. And so we thank John for recruiting about, I don't know, maybe 10% of the total population of Dublin and Worthington. So just ask your neighbor, because they've probably already been approached by John, and then you can actually close the sale. Thank you. I was not the speaker. I'm done.
Other announcements. Thank you. Yeah. Any other announcements? Okay. Then today's program will be introduced by Ann, and she will introduce the individual students. So Ann, you're on.
Hi everyone, good morning. This is gonna be really quick because I also know that the kids, they're not kids. The teens have other things they have got to get done, have to go and do. So basically I've been the advisor for the Interact Club since Roe left the thing. It's been like 3 years, 4 years now. I don't even know anymore. So time flies. But I was approached to see if they would like to present because it has definitely been a very odd year for our club, but also for the Interact Club because they've also been hybrid. And how do they actually, how have they been trying to keep the club going with, everybody's spread out and not being able to meet as much. So I wanted to give them an opportunity to let you guys know what they've been doing, what's on the plate in the future, and how they've been dealing with COVID as high school students. So for further ado, I don't know who's going to actually officially present. I don't know how you guys have done it. So Maggie's going to present, but Sylvia and Claire are both here to answer questions, and Miss Koch is here until she has to leave, because I know she has to leave earlier probably. But they can answer questions. And if you send any questions through chat, they're going to answer. I've already informed them they'll answer at the end, so it doesn't interrupt their presentation if possible. So here you go. Steve, can you share screen with Maggie?
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, everybody can share screen now.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having us. I can go ahead and share my screen. We're actually all three going to present, so just to clarify. So as Anne mentioned, my name is Maggie Henrique. I am co-president of Interact this year, and I've been at Interact since I was a freshman. Claire, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Claire. I also joined Interact as a freshman, and I'm the other co-president.
Hi, I'm Sylvia Long. I'm a senior. I also joined Interact as a freshman, and I'm secretary.
Okay, so this year has definitely been a little bit tough. We haven't really got too much done, unfortunately, but we were able to complete Arts for Little Hearts project and cards for the Ronald McDonald House. But on the bright side, we also have grown in size. Our freshman year, we only had like 6 members and now we have about 40 in our group chat, and not all 40 participate like consistently, but at one event, I think we had like 30 people, so it's huge. So one of the projects we did is Arts for Little Hearts. It's a volunteer nonprofit organization founded by 2 young brothers. The goal is to create and distribute handmade craft items to hospitalized patients all over the world. They kind of focus on the fact that although a volunteer doesn't get to meet the recipient of the craft like face to face, the creator and receiver share a bond of compassion, love, courage, and optimism that crosses all countries and cultures. They send to countries like India, China, Indonesia, Turkey, Italy, Thailand, Brazil, like Israel, all over. So we actually have no idea where our crafts are going to end up. But with this project, I work at Trillium, the nursing home. And so I wanted to get the residents involved since they've had to kind of isolate within their rooms. And I know that they've been bored. So my boss, Steve Hensel, bought these like wooden puzzles and markers. and I put together little bags for them so that they could take them up to their rooms and socially distant create crafts. And then they came and turned them into me. And I think they turned out really great. Some got really creative and wrote like little poems with them. And we even had like somebody make her own craft. It was a little doll right there on the left of the screen, which is really cute. But I was really excited that so many of them got to get involved with us and create crafts with us. And then this is the only in-person event we had this year. It was socially distant, like within our cafeteria. And the past few years, we've been able to create things for the Ronald McDonald House. Last year, I think it was last year, around Halloween, we made little goodie bags to send. And this year, we did Thanksgiving cards. And in years past, we've done cards for the holidays. But it was nice to actually get together and have members come and be together. We actually had a really great turnout, and it's just exciting that we were able to get together during such a difficult time.
So I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the differences with the school year, but in case some people don't know, I'd like to talk about it a little bit. So we spent the first month of the school year remote. We saw most of our classes 3 times a week, which we still see them 3 times a week, but with hybrid schedule, there are 2 different groups. There's green group and blue group. So all 3 of us are in green group today, so we don't have to go into school. But green group goes Tuesday, Thursday, and every other Friday, and blue group goes Monday, Wednesday, and every other Friday. And then you can also see a lot of differences within the school. We have blue tape marking where people should walk on each side of the hall, and there's certain staircases that are up and down. And the bottom left, I have a picture of the cafeteria where everything's socially distanced so people can take their masks off and eat. And then if you see on the next slide, I have a picture of my computer science classroom, and this is actually a really small class, so we're very easily able to social distance, but at this moment it's 6 feet distancing, and then come March 22nd, we're going to move to 3 feet distancing. Yeah. And as everybody knows, this year has been very difficult with finding time to alleviate some stress. I feel like some things that high schoolers have started doing, those that have been social distancing, have been finding new ways to continue to be social, but also be safe. For instance, I joined a small book club with 3 of my friends. Some people have been getting in touch with their more artistic side and doing that. Obviously, sports have been able to continue thanks to coaches and people helping with COVID protocol, and also with students working really hard to be safe during sports as well. And I think one of the biggest gifts of this time would be so much time that I've been able to spend with my family and other people have been able to spend with their families, especially during senior year. I feel like that's just really been a gift, getting to spend a lot of time with my parents. Sorry, okay.
Sorry about that.
And I think many teachers have tried to ease some of the stress on us by giving us less work daily. And obviously that's been really nice as a senior, but I feel like this also comes at a couple costs of just, there's been a lot of content that's been cut from my classes. And I feel like for people taking AP exams, that can be difficult. And also people in younger grades, I know that I talked to my old chemistry teacher and he said that his class, he teaches AP chemistry, but the chemistry students hadn't even learned stoichiometry, which is a basis for his class. So he was nervous going into that. But overall, I feel like even though there have been a lot of difficulties this year, I think there's a good atmosphere of positivity, especially with the trends and numbers dropping with the vaccination rolling out. I think students are excited for next year, a fresh start, and I think they're hopeful of things to come.
Yeah, so that brings us to what we look to be doing this spring as things get better, like Sylvia said, and as we try to participate more. So with everyone going back, we do want to try and do over here. This is the last time we did a drive was with I Support the Girls. They collect feminine hygiene products and women's undergarments to promote like positivity in women who can't afford those items. And we were able to do a drive last year and work with Kathy Jackson, who is the Columbus representative for I Support the Girls. And she came in and she talked to us, and that was very inspiring. And I remember a lot of people were really motivated by her. She's very passionate. She has a lot of energy for what she's doing, and it was really great to hear from her. So this year we, of course, would love to help her out again. So we were thinking about doing another drive for those items. And since we'll be in the building every day, we figured that would be a good time to do it. As well as not necessarily getting together in a big group, but being able to participate and bring in items. And usually we do an April spring cleanup with student council. We're still not sure what that's going to look like this year, but we're really hopeful that we'll be able to participate and get our Interact members to participate. This was, I think, 2 years ago. You can see how much trash we collected. The ravine is a little ravine underneath our building. Our building was built on a ravine, so we have a little trail and stream down there. But yeah, there's a lot of trash buildup, and we found a bike. So that was really interesting, but the ravine always needs cleaning, and last year we were not able to actually get to that. So it would be something really nice to be able to gather for, but also remain socially distant. And then finally, a big thing on our to-do list this year is electing new officers. Obviously, this is something as seniors that makes us a little nervous, mostly due to the fact that this year has been not really hands-on. As you guys mentioned earlier, Interact is similar in the way that Rotary is a hands-on group, and when people get to attend in-person service events, they really get to see the full breadth of the club. And this year, that unfortunately has not been a real easy possibility. So we're a little nervous, but we're really excited to see what our new elected incoming officers will be able to achieve. And we're really hopeful that they have a lot of energy for the club, because I think for all three of us, that's what has made Interact so enjoyable, is the energy that you can bring towards it and the creativity and the ability we have to sort of shape our projects into things that matter to us. For example, Claire working with Trillium, or being able to work with Kathy Jackson with I Support the Girls for something that's meaningful to us. So that's something we're looking forward to, excited about. And yeah, if you want to stay updated with us, if you guys are on Twitter, oh, you can't really see it anymore, but we're at WKHS on Twitter, and on Instagram, we are at WKHS.interact. Yeah, thank you so much for having us this morning. Any questions?
Okay, so thank you very much, y'all. That was a very good presentation. I did not realize, I knew that the membership had grown, but I didn't realize you guys had kept it, which is especially during this year. So that was it was very nice to know about that one. So I did get a few questions. So I'm going to ask. So one of the questions was, how did you guys grow your club, and what strategies did you guys use to grow it from the 6 6 members when you guys were freshmen and when I started it, started in there, to now 30 to 40 teams. Any one of you guys can answer.
I think a big part of it was just like getting my own friends to come with me when we did service projects, and then they brought their friends, and from there it's just kind of like a chain reaction. Like bringing your own friends is really a great way to build your club. I mean, we also put out flyers, but that's not always the most effective thing. I feel like we got a few people from flyers, but it's definitely word of mouth is the most effective way, in my opinion.
I also think they're doing a really great job of using social media and getting the word out that way, and tweeting and being retweeted by the school and all of that stuff. And we're also getting a lot of input from the counselors. I know we just got an email a couple weeks ago about a student who heard about the group from the counselor and wanted to join. So word is getting out and spreading.
That is awesome. And I will officially say that Ms. Koch, she kind of started around the same time that I did. So I felt like it was kind of like a good kismet, kind of like we were all very energized to start this again. And so I think it just was a good, it had some really good officers and really good faculty advisors. So I think that has also helped. Who else did it? Does somebody else have something to say?
Yeah,
Sylvia?
I think, one other thing that we noticed when we started was, I think all 3 of us noticed that the starting group of Interact was actually 5 seniors. So we're sort of in that similar situation. So we're hopeful that Interact doesn't, fall asleep for the next couple of years. But incoming as underclassmen, we were really energized to just join a club. So I think that really contributed, and we were really excited to help get it off the ground a little bit more. So yeah.
One of the questions that I wanted to ask, and I think I had mentioned this to Maggie in an email yesterday, was you guys are all seniors. And how have you guys basically been dealing with college visits and looking for colleges and doing the stuff that you normally would do in a senior year? How has that been affected? You've been able to go to college visits, that kind of stuff.
I can talk about this a little bit. So essentially, most colleges, I think out of the 7 colleges that I applied to, only 1 is doing in-person visits. So it's just been a lot of Zooms. I think even more so than right now, it was really difficult on narrowing down the college search based off of Zooms, and it totally depends on who's giving the presentation, on maybe your impression of the school, because you don't get that same experience of seeing students interacting and hearing conversations when you go to a campus. Although I think this spring I'm going with my mom to all the colleges I got into just to see them, even though I can't do virtual tours. And I'm trying to schedule my virtual tour close to that so I can have the information fresh in my mind. But yeah, it's a little bit of going in blind. Although it's still an exciting process, and it's been fun getting to know the schools. I think another thing that's different this year is that a lot of schools are going test optional. In Worthington, we're lucky enough that we had the ACT, the free ACT. I think it was just 2 weeks before everything closed down. So a lot of seniors at Kilbourne had the opportunity to take the ACT. But I genuinely think that schools are not basing their acceptances off of scores, which is nice.
That's good. Okay, so it seems as people want to know, where have you guys been accepted and where do you guys plan on thinking about going?
Well, I think I'm going to Miami, but I got accepted to UK, Xavier, Cincinnati, Notre Dame. I don't know. It's just Miami's probably my cheapest option right now. And I really love the campus, and I actually got to go there, thankfully, like before COVID. So I was fortunate enough to actually see how campus operates, and I think I kind of fell in love with it, like being actually able to visit.
I have recently decided that I will be going to Wellesley College. It's an all women's school in Boston, Massachusetts. So I'm really excited. Yeah, it's a great school. I'm excited. I've never been to Boston. That's the difficulty with COVID, but I've been lucky enough that there's been, I think the internet is really great right now. I've seen a lot of virtual tours on YouTube, and I've been able to see like student perspectives, like vlogs and things like that. But I've also done a lot of research on the school. So yeah, I think we will be able to go out during spring break to Boston and just get my feet on the campus. But yeah.
Yay, May.
I have no idea where I'm going. I applied all across the East Coast and the South, and I am traveling every weekend in April to go visit. But I got into UVA, Tulane, Florida State, South Carolina, and OSU. And right now the playing field's kind of even. I really like all the schools, so I'm just going to see which one feels best and also wait to hear back from financial aid and scholarships.
I'm going to mention this. This is the perfect time to mention this. Sylvia is actually a National Merit Honor semifinalist. And there was also Erica McCaig. I think that's how you say her last name. She is also an Interact member, and she was a National Merit semifinalist. So yay to the Interact Club. Okay, so I have like one, I think there's one more. Oh, hold on. What was the most challenging? I think you kind of covered it a little bit, but what was the most challenging this year for school? As just in general about the school and in general, because you basically, this is your senior year. So what was the most challenging? Or if you have friends that are like, some of the younger members of the Interact Club, what do you feel like is most challenging for them?
I think I can start on this one. I think a big thing for me, especially being a part of, all three of us are really involved. We're part of a lot of clubs, a lot of extracurriculars. I think a big part of high school for me has been community and really getting to interact with other students and just like feel connected to those around me. And I think what's been really hard is feeling like all my clubs are like floating in the air and I can't really they're not tangible. It doesn't really feel like we can participate fully. I'm in another club called JSA. We do a lot of debate and discussion, and we have 3 conventions a year usually. And all of those have been moved to an online platform, which it isn't the same. You don't get your social breaks to meet new people and talk to everyone. So I feel like that's been really hard, especially as a senior. It's just a very memorable and important part of high school for me, and it kind of just sucks that we don't get that for our last year, but yeah.
When we were in remote, I feel like it, like, to that social aspect, it felt kind of empty, especially at the end of the days, Fridays, where we would go and visit all of our classes. It was like kind of like a whirlwind of like, go here, go here, go here. And then at the end of the day, you're just like exhausted. And like, it's hard to think that that's literally how a normal school day would be if we were in school. But I think being with peers and like your friends, like, eases that stress so much and makes the little like jokes in class. Like, I definitely just missed being around my friends senior year.
All right, I was asked, I probably should have asked this. Okay, what is the biggest thing? Okay, so the biggest thing is, honestly, you guys mentioned, because you guys are seniors, you guys are DM officers, what is your plan? What are your concerns about Interact moving forward now that the crew is leaving? So tell me a little bit about that, of how you guys plan on this succession plan of what's moving forward.
I'm not concerned about finding people who want to step up and take take our roles when we graduate. I think we have a lot of really passionate people, people who love volunteering and people who would easily get more members to join. I guess our biggest concern is that people don't know exactly how things are run, and they're just not familiar with it because we have all of our officers as seniors. But we will be like talking with the group soon and about officer elections and what it means to be an officer.
Cool. Yay.
I think another thing that we were sort of looking ahead to last year when we did elections during COVID was we actually did create a underclassmen rep position to sort of encourage leadership from younger students. And so that we could have someone who essentially would have an officer perspective and could really, participate and see how that that is run and how that works. So we do have one underclassman on the officer team, I guess. So yeah, I fully expect that she's more than capable of also taking over next year and being a great leader. So yeah, like Sylvia said, there's plenty of people that we can rely on. I think, yeah, it's mostly just understanding how we go through the process and what that looks like. Hopefully they won't feel too on their own when they go through that, but yeah.
Great, thank you guys. I will let the members know that I have known Maggie since she was, 7th grade, I think. Something she's been volunteering at the library for years, and she's part of my book group. So it's been nice to it's been sad I haven't been able to see her in person either. So I agree with her. Thank you guys for presenting. If you guys, I'm very impressed with you guys. We got some really good comments about you guys don't seem like you're high school students. You guys are like, sound like you guys are in college. So thank you guys. It was a great presentation. And if anybody has any questions for Interact afterward, or if you want, I don't know if they have to leave, but we can answer them if you need. I'm yielding my time. That was what we say in early meetings sometimes. I'm yielding my time. So thank you guys.
And could we hear from Heather about her experience as a teacher and club advisor during COVID?
Sure. I'm not a teacher per se. I'm a speech language pathologist, so I don't have big classrooms of kids. Every day is different from the day before. I'm covering 3 buildings this year, so it has been intense. 2 of those 3 buildings have been under construction, so everything has been changing by the minute. Running the group has been strange. I feel like I haven't had a chance to really bond with my seniors who are leaving this year or make new bonds with the kids who are coming up. I'm hoping once we go back all in that we get a chance to do that. When we did the I Support the Girls thing that Maggie talked about earlier last year, I really enjoyed that. So I'm hoping we get to do that again. It's been a very strange year, schedules changing every minute or this, that, changing all of the time. So it's been a lot of adapting. I think the kids are doing pretty well with it. I'm interested to see how this next schedule change goes as well. But, we're adapting and we're getting through. And, yesterday it's nice to have some nice warm weather. Got outside to take a walk on my lunch break to get some fresh air and get a little mental health cleanse. So we're doing what we can to make it through.
Okay. Other questions? Are there any other questions?
I'd just like to make a comment that we've seen a number of these students in previous presentations to the club, and I'm just so impressed with the maturity of the students and their thoughtfulness. Amazing to us. To us older folks, you are really wonderful.
Thank you, Trent. The products of your efforts are absolutely outstanding.
Jerry, I appreciate that. I have nothing to do with it. We have great students and families, great teachers in Worthington schools. Heather said it well. It's been a constant adaptation this year. We don't think that's over, but we do see some light at the end of that tunnel, and it's super cool to see that our students that speak will be prepared to go out and live out our mission. So, but that's a credit to them more than anybody else.
So Sylvia, could you tell us about how your sister's doing, who is also a former Interact Club officer president, and let us know about her too.
Yeah, so Marissa is now a sophomore at Tulane University, and she's doing a lot. She's in a club called Design for America. She's the president of the club. She's starting a running group that she wants to make intercollegiate competitive running group. She is a TA just in her second year of college for her computer science class. And she's thinking about studying abroad in Ireland and New Zealand next year. She is always wanting to travel, always wanting to study abroad.
So when does she sleep? When does she sleep?
She is actually one of the best sleepers I know. She goes to bed every night at 9:30, wakes up at 6, and goes on her run. It's incredible. I can't imagine it.
Well, please send our best wishes to her and greetings.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. This was terrific presentation. Any other comments? I want to thank the representatives from the school board and for attending and supporting the students. You have terrific students here, not just these three, certainly, but all within the Interact appear to be really thriving in a way that has really blown our minds in terms of how well it's grown. So thank you. Next week, I want to thank personally too, Maggie, Claire, and Sylvia. You did a terrific job. And Heather, keep up the good work. You're all a great representative of Worcester or Worthington. So next week we have Melanie Hankinson is the owner and CEO of iCore, which helps families and aging adults navigate the older care system. Her topic is options for aging life care and costs. So we're going to the opposite end of the age spectrum next week. And as we close, we can first invite members to remain on the Zoom call for informal socialization, and anyone from the Interactor School is certainly welcome to have further discussion. And we will close with the four-way test, which is central to Rotaries, as many of you know, and I want to encourage students to consider as they get older that they actually join Rotary in all of our full activities. So the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First,
is it the truth?
The truth.
Second,
is it fair to all concerned?
Third, will it
build goodwill
and
better friendships?
And fourth, will it
be beneficial to all concerned?
Again, thank you for joining us today, and everyone have a good week, and see you next week.